Okay.
Okay.
Hi.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the PC meeting.
Hi.
So I guess to start our meeting, let's start with Class Dojo. What were your thoughts on it?
I think it's pretty cool. It has pretty much everything in it, from what it seems like. I really enjoyed the toolkit aspect side of it. That it has so many different things like noise meter, group makers, randomizers. You can even like put directions on, send directions to kids. I thought the think pair was really nice, especially like, and one of the videos that they had with it, as well as like just using it in general. If you're like reading a story or something like that, then you can put up this kind of question for them to think about in their pairs. I thought that was a nice feature, so I like it.
Yeah, I also liked it. I've never used it in real life, but that it really has a way to connect to the parents and family in a good way. And like not having to give out your phone number, but like everyone can come to this platform to check out what's happening in class to keep connected with the families, which is really important without having them in your own life too much.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree with Noble as well, because I think it's really important for parents to know. I don't use Class Dojo, and I tried looking at the app and starting it, but it was hard because I don't have my students are on board. But I started reading reviews and like reading what parents write about it, and they really enjoy the Class Dojo because they can actually see what goes on in the classroom, and they can see their kids' work and group work. So they have like a bigger picture, because like back in the day, like parents don't really know. They just get the report card comment or warning letters if the kid's in trouble. But this really keeps them on track with their kids' progress. So I think that's great. And then they can contact their teachers. I don't know if this is a disadvantage. I'm just curious on like how quick the teacher should reply to like parents' messages. I'm worried if like a disadvantage is if it's time consuming, for a teacher, like a teacher's aspect. Because it seems like it's like an Instagram or a Facebook with like just student speeds and like everything going on in the classroom. So I don't wonder how time consuming that would be.
I wonder.
It probably is quite time consuming.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's a disadvantage.
Like maybe if it helps with behavior and if it helps the class vibe and everything, maybe it's worth the time. Maybe.
It comes down to schools. Like the school that I'm going to work in next year, they don't use Class Dojo, but they use something similar. And the rules are that parents can only write to the teacher between like school hours, from like 9 a.m. to 4:30 or whatever, or at least if they write after, they're not going to get a reply until the next day. Because teachers are not allowed by the school, more for their protection, not because they don't want teachers to talk to them, just so that teachers don't have to deal with it in their personal time. And it's something that I guess most people do. So if you're in the West where you're not having a teacher assistant and you're just you're teaching normally, then you would have to do it all in the morning. If you have teaching assistants, then I guess you can put it onto them and you're going to deal with it. That's an interesting disadvantage. I looked up some YouTube videos as well as signing into it, just because like Oda said, I don't have students. So they talk about how at the beginning it was something that was really positive with a group of teachers. It's kind of cool that they create their own monster and that it's personalized. So it's kind of creative, and that they have like set specific rewards for different point levels, and that they also have different tools like random calling on students, which is cool, and that students can see this positive and negative points, and that it helps to communicate with parents. But they did say that it can be a burden on class in terms of a disadvantage, because it's just one more thing that you have to monitor on top of all of the other monitoring. So at the beginning, it's really fun and exciting, but to be doing it constantly or every day, it can be time consuming and tiring. And what happens
I can see that.
enough is that it gets like once you don't use it enough, then
It kind of loses its.
So
Yeah,
that's
can I
Yeah.
please add? Yeah, I need to add on to that because that's very important. Like when these apps come out, like everyone's like, "Oh wow, this is so cool," and like kids are excited. But like consistency is the key in these aspects. Like bringing in a
Exactly.
tool, and like the kids have to be on board, the parents have to be bored, and most of all, like all the teachers involved have to be bored and active on it. Because like I remember, my school wanted to like use Seesaw, and like we brought like a teacher who's very like experienced with it, and like everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, this is great!" Like, and just like for teachers to download the app and start using it, like people who did it, like after the meeting, everyone's like, "Yeah, we'll start using it," but no one really did, and the teachers that did, no one else was on board. So it's very confusing for teachers as much as students, as parents. Like they really have to understand the app and how it works and be on board with it, because it can't just be like flaky and just like, okay, we're going to use it for the first 2 weeks, and then kids get bored, parents aren't looking at their kids' work or commenting. It'll automatically just like fade out. So consistency is definitely
My school, we use Seesaw a lot.
okay.
So
Yeah.
I know what you mean. I mean, this was my first year using Seesaw, and it's like kind of like Class Dojo, but it doesn't have like the point systems and stuff. But what they can do, and I think that Class Dojo does also, like, it was tough at first with my first graders, but once like they learned how to use QR scanners, like the QR codes to scan, they can upload their own work, and so we tried to use it more like that as and as well as I ended up using it as like kind of like a kind of weekly, like, look at what we're doing, we're reading books, we're doing this kind of a
Yeah.
blog, or not even a blog, like a Instagram for parents to look at.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it definitely helps in the aspect that the parents are happy that they see that what's going on, and it really doesn't take as much time once you get into a routine. I think that's the point of, like, that's just a good thing to do with these types of apps. If you, like you were talking about, consistency and just
Not
kind of
overly.
sticking with it, and once you do that, then it kind of goes into place. I think it becomes
I was
easier.
also wondering about, like us with the kindergartners, like we'll have 3-year-olds, and for them to like upload their own work, it could be, that
It's a
could
bit
be like a
hard.
whole big challenge.
Yeah,
See,
for 3-year-olds.
So I might have to just use only one aspect of the app
yeah.
rather
So
than the whole thing.
the teacher that was using it in our school, he actually uploads it for the kids. So he uploads every assignment, like every class work. So that's why other teachers weren't on board, because like as teachers we have other responsibilities. So like to take
Sounds
pictures
really-
and upload for the kids and like write comments for them, and like once it was too much work. So as much as these apps are great, especially for the early years, Noble like us, it's not super practical, or like it's very time consuming. So you really have to have like a mutual understanding with your team, or how it's going to work, or like what they expect from it, because it is a lot of work. Kids aren't independent or responsible enough to take action, or they're not capable. Like our little ones aren't capable, so it's not fair. It's not fair. Like, upload your photo, upload your work.
Like, what's upload?
I think
There's no feeds. Like, so. But overall, it's a great app to use.
Yeah, and I was also thinking, as far as like this app goes, and like, and Mandy, I know you teach older kids, so like for you, I kind of think, I don't know if you use Class Dojo or not, but I think it's a bit child.
Yeah, I think like
for adults to use.
I think it's good for children, but I think the main keys here are, number one, consistency. Number two, not overusing it. Number three, if you do have those younger students, the parents have to be involved, because as Hoda said, like, as a teacher, you can't be uploading everything. So definitely the parents need to be trained on how to do it. And one advantage of it is that they do have really good instruction videos for children to introduce it and how to do it. So I would be curious to see if they have good instruction video for parents that can be sent to them as well, so that can help them get brought on board. But definitely it's not something that I would use with my older students, because if I tried to introduce this to my 18-year-olds, they'd be like, do you think we're children? Like, they would not be involved at all. But there are some apps that we researched that we'll get to in a moment that I think would be good for my students.
Was better for older kids.
So do you think we've kind of wrapped up Class Dojo and we're kind of ready to move on?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, so then the first app on the list is TeacherKit. And that's something that I looked at. TeacherKit is pretty similar to Class Dojo, but it doesn't have as many features. And I think it's not as fun looking. I really liked the monsters on Class Dojo. I thought that was really cute. But TeacherKit, the students usually use like pictures of themselves. They can also create like a cartoon avatar, but I just think the monsters are adorable. So I think TeacherKit would be better for the students in between smaller and my age. Like maybe it could be used for, you know, high schoolers, but I'd say like the monsters are kind of elementary, so I'd say Class Dojo is better for, you know, kindergarten, elementary. TeacherKit might be a little bit better for middle school students, or even high school, because it has more of an adult look, not just in the avatar, but in the way it's actually set up. It looks kind of more professional. So
yeah, it has like options. I saw that like you can do like record grades, and you can like put in all the assignments, and then they can look up what they have and everything like that, and it keeps track, the record of that.
Yeah.
Um,
So it does give that student independence like that. It takes attendance. It can do a point system. It can generate reports, so you can do like PDF reports of your students' grades and export them. You can also print reports. You can create seating charts, and you can track student performance. So it's pretty similar. It's just more adult looking, and it's not exactly as automatic. I think you kind of have to like choose what people see, as opposed to Class Dojo, where I think automatically everybody sees everything. So
and you can like, I noticed you can even put like your timetable on it. Like if you have classes at certain times, like you can make it recurring so that you can take attendance easier. I don't know. I thought it wasn't as intuitive as an app to use. I was kind of confused. So I was trying to play with some of the things, and I just didn't understand it. But I mean, I guess with time and if you read some more, you'll get it.
I think you have to get used to it. Like with any of these kind of more complex apps, you know, you start off kind of unsure, and then it just becomes second nature. I think we could see that with WeChat.
Yeah.
In the group chats and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. I think that's it. Exactly. So the next app was Too Noisy Pro.
So I looked at Too Noisy Pro, and I think it's great. I think it's like depending on the age group you work with, because it's pretty much like it listens to the sound in the room, and then it just like moves according to the loudness, and then it has like a happy face and a sad face. So like if you're talking like silence, it's like a really happy, excited, like happy face. And then like it goes higher, like the emotions start changing depending on the voice in the classroom. So once it gets really loud, then it's like an angry face, so it shows that like we shouldn't be there, and then it should go down. So I like it because especially with the early years, I can see myself using it. Like during circle time, I expect my kids to sit quietly and listen. Of course, there's going to be other times where I won't use it because like the face will be like extremely angry at the kids. So I think you can definitely like use these tools, especially because they're simple and they're fun, and it gets kids like attracted to get on board with it. One of my teachers uses this app, and I'll find out the name of it, but it's really cool because like it's like a window or something, and then like the window cracks, and there's like noise effects, like more noise effects.
This one.
I think this one did this also.
Oh, there is different. Okay.
Yeah, when it just goes overboard.
Yeah, I guess you have to pay for it then, because
I
like
think so.
maybe.
That's something that kind of put me off to it, because like I mean like you can't, I mean I don't have an iPhone anyway, so I couldn't try it out, but like it's $4, and so like, if there are other things out there.
So I guess like depending on the settings.
And like
and I like that you can adjust like where the the yellow ends and where the red starts and where the green starts and stuff, so you can sort of have your own preference as to what is too loud and what is